Alright, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk Christian Mbilli and Deontay Wilder. They've both just finished their own individual fights. Let's start with what I think is the more impressive victory, and that was Christian Mbilli. Now, he stopped Suleshi in the first round, 2 minutes 28 seconds to be exact, into the first round. Very easy work for Mbilli. Look, I would actually say Suleshi looked alright in that. I wouldn't say he did much wrong. He threw some combinations, but Mbilli, he set him up perfectly. Perfect setup there by Mbilli in that fight. Straight right to the body, jab basically to the body. A left hook that goes around the guard and hits him right into the liver, and then with that liver shot, Suleshi opens his guard just for a moment, trying to cover up his sides, and Mbilli sends a perfect right uppercut straight through the opening onto the button, drops Suleshi. He's down, he gets up, standing on his feet around 8-9 seconds, and the ref's like, you're not ready to go. Stops the fight. I think it was the right stoppage. Suleshi did not look like he could continue, and with 20 seconds left of that round, I don't know whether Suleshi would have made it out of those last 20 seconds. We know the pressure Mbilli can put on and how skillful he is. It would have just been a bad decision to let Suleshi continue. So Mbilli becomes the WBC interim super middleweight champion of the world. Look, lots of that comes down to what happens again with Canelo versus Crawford, but Christian Mbilli gets the next shot at that WBC super middleweight belt, and I think he rightfully deserves that. I think he's a tremendous fighter, and just full of activity when he fights, throws lots and lots of punches, and I think he's a handful for anybody that he will fight in the future. And I believe Canelo beats Crawford, and I think Mbilli versus Canelo for undisputed would be a hell of a fight. Makhmudov, he was versing Brown on the undercard. I did speak about that in the preview, and that fight did not disappoint. Those two were throwing bombs from minute one. Makhmudov looked like he hurt Brown quite early, but Brown came back through some big punches of his own. Makhmudov ends up pushing, sort of getting Brown into the corner. Lands a good uppercut, I thought, to the body that started it all. And then with a brutal right overhand, he hits him right on the next to the eyes, drops Brown, and secures the victory. Brutal knockout by him. The ref stops the fight. Brown actually does get to his feet, all credit to him, but he was not ready to continue, and good win from Makhmudov. Now I'm going to hopefully do a more detailed look into this fight and talk about Deontay Wilder, but just a quick gist of the fight. Deontay Wilder, he actually used that jab, his left hand jab, so often during that fight, heaps and heaps and heaps, and coupled it up with his left hooks as well. And to be honest, Herndon didn't offer much at all. I don't know what his punch stats were, but they couldn't have been very high at all. It was just, I think it's what we expected to see. Herndon's not the biggest opponent, and we know how good Deontay Wilder is and was. And to say that he's back would be a big overstep. I think we saw Wilder perform. I think he looked good. I think he's got stuff to work on, and he's got stuff to improve on. But I thought the basis of what he provided us today was quite a good performance based on who he was versing and how he went about it. This wasn't the Robert Helenius big first round knockout, but this was I think a good composed performance. He went around the first few through rounds, jabs, left hooks, setting him up. Round 4, he actually ended quite well, threw in some of these sort of bigger right hand punches that he did up until that round. I didn't think he sent many at all right hands between rounds 1 and round 3. Wobbled Herndon with a right hand very late in the round. And then went back to work in round five, continued with the jab, continued with the left hook, and kept setting up Herndon. Herndon in round five looked like he'd given up anyway, if I'm being honest with you. Round six, good work to the body early by Wilder, but Wilder could smell that the fight was very close to done. Herndon was really sending nothing, and he pretty much was just backing away. And well done to Wilder because he put on the gas, started becoming a lot more aggressive, but composed. Wasn't sending out punches for no reason and just throwing and throwing and throwing. It was, let me see how hard I can hit him, but make sure I do hit him, which I thought was good. It wasn't wild stuff. It was good composed boxing, but using his size and power against Herndon. And that's pretty much the end of the fight. We go to round seven. Herndon pretty much spends the whole round trying to get away from Wilder, trying not to get hurt. Wilder lands a few good right hands up against the ropes as Herndon's trying to circulate around the ropes. I think he lands three. The ref steps in and says, "You've had enough. This fight's over." And I can understand why. Some people were saying it was early, but Herndon was offering absolutely nothing, and Wilder was just going to inflict more and more pain as that fight went on. He ends up in the end dropping Herndon twice, once in round two or three, must have been two, and then once again in round six. Although I can't remember whether they counted the round six one because Herndon did hit the floor a few times, and they weren't really from punches. They were more of his legs just giving out, and yeah, couldn't handle the pressure and the type of fight that it was going. Wilder showed good aggression and good strength and gets the win. I had it in the end like 60 to 52 at that point, but I think the main things to take out of this fight was some good bases to work off for Wilder. He gets a win. It's not a win that he just got from one punch. It's a win that he had to work for, show some boxing skills. The jab looked really, really good. His height and reach, that jab needs to be utilized. It is so good. The left hook looked good. He didn't show much activity with the right hand. I thought he could have let it go a bit more. But the fact is, this was not the level finder. He does not know what he can achieve based on this fight. Obviously, we know he wants unification. This is a stepping stone. Sorry, I don't know what is wrong with my dog if you can hear that. People must be in my street. So apologies for that. Um, I think it's a basis to work on. He's going to get harder opponents and he's going to have to work for it a lot more. But all in all, a good performance from Wilder. He gets his comeback, and we'll see what it happens. But the big talking point today is that just a brutal victory from Mbilli. If he wasn't already ranked number one in all governing bodies and overall in the super middleweight division, I think he is now, most definitely. He is the number one contender, and who we see him versus next, I don't know, but it needs to be for a world title shot. All right, guys, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Apologies about the dog. I'm going to go see what she's up to. I'm out of here. See yous.